Hello and welcome to the third episode of Together on the Mic with the Shamsuddins. Today we have Daniela Yanelli and we have Zina Shamsuddin. Over to you, Zina.
You can't just do that when I don't know. I was just like, huh?
So today we have a special guest, Daniela. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
No problems at all. We're going to discuss about the restaurant lifestyle that you do, especially going to touch on SA, service accommodation, Airbnb, Dubai PPM, Dubai properties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things I think that we've all got in common with each other, that we're doing similar things. So I thought it would be a good podcast to have, but we can let Daniela introduce herself a little bit about what she does.
Yes.
Thank you. So I'm Daniela. It was so lovely to meet you. I probably think we met maybe 6 months ago.
I think so.
Summer of 2023.
Yeah.
So yeah, my background is 10 years hotels. It's quite similar to yourselves. 10 years hospitality. And then I did service accommodation for 3 years.
Right.
And now I've started my own hospitality consultancy. So helping hospitality business improve guest experience, customer service, reviews, revenue, and overall team morale, and just and that's really what I focus on at the moment. So what I specialised in hospitality, I'm now doing as a career. So it's what I love, really.
Brilliant. What type of are you getting experienced business who have their who have their current trading businesses, or do you have startups approach you?
It's a real mix, to be honest with you. It's more people who have smaller business, who are maybe a little bit less established. So I actually had this conversation with someone. I went to a restaurant and it was quite a nice restaurant, and they were like, basically, what do you do? They said, you have this consultancy, but what do you do? Because everyone now runs a consultancy.
That's right, yeah.
And I said, so basically, if we're in this restaurant, what would, I go in as a secret shopper as such, as my first initial intro into the business. Obviously I'll work with the owner and I'll go in as a secret shopper and review everything blindly, because everyone knows, especially in the hospitality industry, when you have someone who is a VIP, that person is not going to wait for anything. Like they're going to have water on tap, drinks, everything. So you need to be there as a normal person, and that's what I do. I go in, review everything, but not in a really nice place that have basically everything under wraps, because they don't need me. People who need me are maybe smaller businesses, experienced businessmen and women who just haven't got that hospitality experience. Because you can be an incredible business person, think it's a great idea to open a restaurant, and then be like, shit.
That's the easiest part, isn't it? Easiest part is opening a restaurant. Now maintain it. Have your staffing, your chefs, your front staff, and so on.
And it's a bit of a dream, I think, for people at the moment. The whole restaurants or service accommodation seems to be the like trending thing, where everyone's like, you know what, I'm going to open a restaurant, or I'm going to go down the Airbnb service accommodation route. And it, like you say, it just seems like, oh well, I'm going to do this, but then don't necessarily know how to.
Let's have a discussion on this actually. I was speaking to you, Zina, about and if you can give us a bit of an insight, being an Airbnb, it's a trend, right?
It's glamorized. Oh my God.
It's really trending at the moment.
There's a lot of listings that are stale, in my opinion, that are not moving, and bookings are not being done. Am I right in saying an Airbnb or service accommodation nowadays, because it's so saturated, everyone's doing it? On TikTok, it looks so easy, and on Instagram, hey man, go to the range and get this and get that.
Have you seen that one? I'm 21-year-old Airbnb host doing 5 figures. The amount of times I saw that,
cringe.
Oh my God.
It's a whole, everyone in IKEA with their trolley, everyone buying the same thing and then making their...
It's not as easy as that, and please correct me if I'm wrong, and is it right to be themed, like have a theme about your Airbnb? What I mean is to have your own brand, or to have a certain quirky feeling to your type of service accommodation or Airbnb, targeting towards those sort of audience? I don't know. You tell us, because you've done it.
Yeah, it was really... So I started back in 2019, I think.
Right.
2019, 2020. When it
COVID
wasn't...
times.
Oh my God, how clever were we starting an Airbnb business during a national lockdown? But we had to... It was very different back then. It was far less competition. You have to think differently now. You have to be different, think different, like a lot of other businesses.
So who are you hitting? Are you hitting the people that want to book a hotel? Instead of booking a hotel, they would book your service accommodation. Is that what we're looking at?
You need to, as an Airbnb host, you need to establish that, because if you're going to compete with hotels, you need to then price yourself as a hotel, which a lot of the time you can't do.
Yeah.
You need to be a hotel but more, so we can offer you accommodation and more, because obviously you've got a kitchen, this, that, or have more room. So in effect, even though it's more expensive per night, you can fit 3 more people in than you can do in a hotel room. I think with things like theming, it's not for me in terms of like, I know people who do like Harry Potter Airbnbs and they actually do really well.
Yeah, there's a premium for it as well.
Massive premium. It's just not for me. It's not my taste.
No, that's not sound like something I would go for.
Honestly, it does so well, but that's like thinking different. And when we first started during the lockdown, we had to target. We thought we'd go for like high end. Executives of companies, which didn't really work out for us in the area we did it in.
Okay.
But very quickly we changed to
I think
contractors.
It's a demographic in the area where you are that actually works.
Yeah, we changed to contractors because it was they're the only people that could travel.
Yeah.
And then I think when you get into it, it's not like you can't go to uni to study to be an Airbnb host. You kind of have to learn as you go, even with whatever training you do.
Yeah.
As we went to the end of our journey, we targeted just long-term bookings, and we were one of the only people on Rightmove, advertising on Rightmove.
Oh wow, okay.
And we got the like really long-term bookings, 6 months plus, because...
Where are your service accommodations?
They were towards the end of the journey, we had about 20, and they were like Surrey, Buckinghamshire, Hertfordshire, so they were more like this around this area kind of. So we had about 20 units. But yeah, that's who we mainly targeted.
Those 20 units, have they been empty for a longer period of 2-3 weeks or months, or have they always been constant bookings?
They were doing really well, to be honest with you. It's the reason why it was my decision to stop service accommodation, because it is a tough gig. I'm not going to lie, like many other businesses, like probably a estate agency and lettings, it's tough. And it is 24/7. People kind of go into it thinking it's a business, a property strategy, but it's hospitality, and
it is. You've nailed it. That's why I was trying to come on, but you've actually taken words out of my mouth. No, it's actually good. The audience can see the rawness of what you're actually trying to do, and with the journey that you've going through in Airbnb and service accommodation is. It's not for the faint-hearted. You see a lot of this on the social media, as we talked about shopping and the revenue being very high, but there's expenses for the revenue being high. So your cleaners, right? Contractors, damages, so on, fees. How much are the fees on Airbnb?
Oh God, off the top of my head, about 15-18%, something like that.
So there's a lot of outlay, isn't it? So the revenue might be high, but you have to pay a lot of expenses.
And it is the constant work, like you said. It isn't just a 9 till 5 job.
Oh my God.
So
with hospitality, it physically is 100 miles an hour until your restaurant closes, until the coffee shop closes. Whereas with Airbnb, it physically doesn't close. So it's 100 miles an hour. And I think with post-COVID, the UK expectations have gone like that in everything. Shops, estate agents, like people expect so much more but want to be paying less. So it's one of those things. It's a hard job. It's a hard work. I love hospitality as a whole, but it's you have to be able to adapt very quickly to different people.
Yes. What about the bookings? Would you have your security system there in place, or is it a matter of CCTV, audio system? How would it actually work?
Yeah, I think with Airbnb, like it's one of those industries where people really kind of monetize on it.
That's right.
I feel like you can probably get to a point where you just don't stop putting in more cameras, more this, more that. Mute systems, whatever they're called.
What about the neighbours? Have they been funny with you or anything?
Yeah, neighbours are crazy. Honestly,
neighbours are crazy.
I've decided I personally don't want neighbours anymore. So yeah, I mean, in terms of you can do so much, and we had our own systems, our own procedures, security, all of that. And I think the main thing is is working with an external security team. So I found one that you just pay per call out.
Oh, really?
I said, if I ever have to put myself in a position of danger for a job, that is when I stop doing it. Because and I think that's the main thing. You can have all the CCTV cameras you want, but until you're actually notified, you're gonna sit and watch CCTV. Maybe some people, we had this conversation earlier, some people enjoy it, but I haven't got time for that.
You just be sitting, it's a bit Big Brother, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think.
and you know what? I don't care. As long as you're not causing problems, I don't care. But neighbours are crazy. We had one neighbour message me on Airbnb. I was like, oh, new inquiry. I was like, bloody hell, it's a neighbour moaning. And they said to me, like, your Airbnb person is causing loads of noise through the night. And I'm a bit Italian, so I was 0 to 100. I was calling the guest Sunday morning. I was like, you're waking everyone up. I'm getting complaints.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. I'm normally very good at hospitality and customer service.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Not on a Sunday morning when I'm in my pajamas trying to enjoy my orange juice. And it was this like 80-year-old or 70-year-old like old Asian man, and I felt so bad. He gave me his bedtime.
Was that your uncle? Was that your uncle? Oh, Uncle Jamal?
It was him.
It was him. That's Uncle Jamal.
But they're not in Surrey way.
Oh, right,
He gave me his bedtime. He was like, Daniela, I go to sleep at 9 and I wake up at 7, and that really upset me actually. Like, I don't get upset easily, but I was like, we are used a little bit as a scapegoat here. I was like, how this poor old man, I was like having a go at him.
I'm just going to touch on this.
And obviously then wouldn't have been him making the noise.
And when you speak to someone on the phone, you can get a genuine feel like this guy, there's no way he's going to be like running around doing exercise. Like, he can barely talk down the phone to me without getting out of breath.
He's got a strict bedtime and wake up time.
This year, I've made a decision with yourself. Remember the conversation that we've had?
It's never with myself. I like how, because we're on a podcast, you're acting like it was with me. You let me know.
We're together on the mic, right?
Yeah, so that's why. So together on the mic, we apparently made a decision,
So we made a decision of a couple of properties that I have. I'm doing one as we speak as a themed Airbnb service accommodation.
Not Harry Potter kind of thing.
After I slated it.
It's going to be a bit different, and I'm going to pilot that, use it, see if it works.
Yeah.
And if that works, I'll do it to the others.
It's not a theme. I think what you mean is, rather than just the generic looking type of room, trying to go a little bit more upmarket with the service accommodation.
Certain appeals and certain looks of it. The area that it's in is just on the high street, just nearby. So I would invite you in, have a little walk through when it's all done. Yeah.
I'd love
we
that.
used to have them as properties that were rented out to tenants, and it's
HMO tenants,
it just became a nightmare. It's very difficult to handle if you happen to get a wrong tenant. There's too many policies and procedures before you can do anything.
100%.
And it just became a very difficult market for us to be in.
But I mean,
and then we're just looking at, well, we still have these properties, so what can we do different? And that's where we're thinking of opening a few serviced accommodation. I don't know if I like that name though. I feel like it just makes it sound like the TikTok.
Seaside accommodation. Let's change it.
Coastal.
Do you know what though? I think if you own the properties, I would, if I had a portfolio, I'd probably do them as Airbnb. I think that the benefits, I know I've just moaned about it, but in general, like the benefits from doing it as SA, service accommodation, versus an AST is massive. I mean, obviously you're the experts in kind of AST, but if someone does irritate you, I mean, the thing is, you there's a handful of bad guests, and it's sad.
Vetting, isn't it? It's vetting. How do you vet yours?
I used to call them all, but I think I was just a bit crazy.
Because you see some nightmares. I mean, you've heard about some nightmare stories about Airbnb as a host. So they've taken the place and they'd throw house parties. And
you need to make sure that your procedures are in place and they're followed. If you have a team, that they make sure they're followed.
Okay.
I call everyone.
Are they supportive, Airbnb as a company?
If you follow their rules.
Yeah.
I mean, they are very good, but you
Okay.
have to make sure that you follow their rules.
Okay.
So if that's a sad thing. If one person in your team slips up and doesn't follow the procedures, that's when it kind of backfires.
Yeah.
But I was very, very strict on how we followed their rules, because when you need them and you need to play ball, because it's basically in their hands if they pay out.
Yeah.
Because with Airbnb, you don't take deposits.
Okay.
So with
Okay.
everyone else, you take whatever £300 deposit.
Yeah.
So if they damage something, you keep it. But you can't take a deposit on Airbnb.
Right, okay.
So you have to, if there's an issue, you have to follow all of their procedures to make sure that you can get a payout.
Otherwise,
but
you just lose out completely.
we got once like a 3.5k payout.
Oh, really?
So they do pay out, but you have to follow their rules. But the sad thing is, it's with every business. You get a handful of bad people, but they're the ones you remember. Like I actually grew friendships with a lot of my guests because they stayed such long term.
Yeah.
I used to go around, they used to cook for me. Like I don't know if that's allowed. I should say on a podcast. I don't know. I used to like cook for them. They'd cook for me.
Did they get a
Really?
discount though? Is
Well,
that right?
some of them.
exactly.
What were your nightly stays and rates like, or were they like ranging £80 to £100 a night, or were they?
With our long-term guests, it was heavily reduced. I mean,
Yeah.
we had someone stay a year and a half.
Wow.
So they were paying like a fraction to everyone else paid,
Right.
but they stayed a year and a half and they caused no issues. I mean, we always knew when they left we'd have to repaint this and that, but we're like the weigh the pro and the cons. Having someone there a year and a half, no voids, nothing.
Yeah.
Literally, once they called me, the oven's not working, and I was like, oh, like these things happen. I said, what's happened? They're like, I don't know, it broke. It didn't stop working 2 weeks ago. I was like, why didn't you call me 2 weeks ago? Like, don't get me wrong, like I loved them, but they were so laid back. But yeah, I mean, we wanted to make a certain amount of profit each month. Right. So with the long-term bookings, as long as we were making that kind of monthly profit we wanted to make.
Covering, yeah.
So to summarise it, it's not all about looking on Instagram or social media, looking at service accommodation. It's not as easy as it seems. There's a lot of homework that needs to be done, compliances, regulations. You have to see where you are demographically, where you're based. Depending on the location, you can target those rates.
I think it's like any business though, isn't it? Any business that you go into or you start is not easy, and you have to adjust and have to make changes throughout. But I think sometimes when you see things on social media, you look at it and think, oh, everyone's opening a restaurant or everyone's doing service accommodation.
Yeah.
So then you think, oh, I can do that. The crypto Bitcoin stuff that I still don't understand.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
A certain someone loves that we know, but it still makes no sense to me.
No.
But everyone jumps on the bandwagon of, oh, I'm going to do that as well, and it's not always what it seems on TikTok.
The only thing I'll say with service accommodation, which we made the mistake the first time, whoever your clients are, executives, money boot workers, just don't have anything in that property. You'd be upset if broke or got scratched, because we went for our first 3 properties high end. We went to this stunning interior design place that you have to have a membership for, and I begged my dad for a membership and he had to jump through hoops. Stunning furniture, and I mean stunning, but oh my god, it's wear and tear. It's not someone's home, it's not someone's furniture. So that is one thing I'll say. Whatever your avatar is, just don't do. Just
don't do it as if you're living in there, because it's not that.
And
at the end
it's
of the day.
so hard. Like it's so easy to say like, yeah, I won't do it, but when you start getting into it, it's so
it's
hard.
The aesthetics of it all and doing the place up. But I suppose we could make it work, giving it that style.
Yeah, but like Daniela says, don't get something that if it gets damaged or broken, that you're going to be distraught over.
I begged for that membership.
What about...
Does he still have a go at you now about that?
No, it's more me who's bitter about it. He's forgotten.
Would I be a bit crazy if I turned it into like an aqua theme, like rooms with tanks and Pete's and pufferfishes?
Pete, but do you know what I
mean,
think?
who wants that where they're staying?
I think
wouldn't.
it's the big tooth for me.
I would wake up traumatised if that was swimming around.
I
where
think
I'm
it's a really
staying.
good idea for here, but I don't know. Like the live plants died, so I don't know about live fish.
Well, yeah. See, even that, because people are not going to think about watering the plants.
No, exactly. That's what I mean.
Oh,
we
what
went
about
really
your
high end.
cleaners? How often would they come? Would they come after when straight after when they leave, when they're
so funny thing about cleaners,
guest leaves,
cleaners we actually bought in-house. We started our own cleaning company. We actually started an interior design company and a cleaning company.
I remember you saying that, actually. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so if you're into interiors, I wouldn't bother, but I would literally, the whole place would be great if it was down to me.
Yeah.
So we got an interior designer in, but what she did was actually something I would never be able to do. She was able to get things from IKEA and B&M, whatever, Homebase, whatever these places are called, and make it look really good, but one thing from there, one thing from there. So if that's not your forte, I would definitely say get an interior designer in.
Okay.
Make sure the photos are great, really good photos. Get someone who specialises in Airbnb, because we got a property photographer in.
Okay.
But it was just like a photographer you would use if you're selling a house. Okay. It was just photo and photo. There's no lifestyle shots.
Yeah.
Right.
And cleaners we bought in-house because the standard just wasn't there. And I always said to the cleaners, if they find one thing, so if they go in the kitchen, they find a hair on the floor, they are going to look like, because I would, if I found something dirty where it shouldn't be dirty, you're like, well, where else is not being cleaned?
Yeah.
So we bought that all in-house, and the cleaners would always do a deep clean at the end of the stay.
Okay.
But they'd also do interim cleans, so we'd just absorb that cost. But
what about the beddings and so on? Do they take that and... I suppose,
so all the interim cleans, if it was weekly or fortnightly, whatever they were, I think they're weekly, they would change all the bedding. And it was more obviously keeping on top of the cleaning, but they're your eyes and ears. So like if something's broken, or then even like maintenance, obviously maintenance, you can't always blame the guest. But if there was things that are being damaged, they'd be able to report back.
Mess and the state of the condition and things like that.
And there's always a leeway. Some people I see on Facebook, some people are a little bit like, oh, they left it such a mess. If it's just messy, that's one thing, because just clean it up.
And if it's a damage, it's another, isn't it?
Exactly. I mean, I think I saw photos of like pizza boxes stacked up. I'm like, guys, like, who cares? Just clean it up. Like, it's not always have to be a big issue. But
I've seen the whole pizza boxes everywhere and things. But like you said, that's just tidying up. It's not a big issue.
A booking comes in, right? A booking comes in. You're the host. Then you would call them, get an understanding what they're like. Then if you're happy with it, you'll do the booking. Am I right? Simple as that.
Yeah, I get copies. Our system took photo. They had to submit ID, so it's a secure booking system we had. And obviously, it wouldn't come via emails or messages. It would go straight into our secure system. I'd get a copy of their passport or ID. Obviously, there's things you need to look out for to make sure it's legitimate. 9 times out of 10, it always is.
Any eviction issues that you've had, or
no? I mean, obviously, we've had to sometimes ask people to leave early, but that's the beauty of Airbnb, which I think a lot of landlords forget. Like you said, if you have an AST, what is it, 3-6 months? It is.
6 months AST,
you can ask people to leave if they break your terms and conditions. So they we get them to sign additional terms and conditions, submit IDs, and I also call them for 2 reasons. One, just in the first few minutes of a call
what this person's like.
And you just have that feeling like it's nothing crazy. It's just that sixth sense of yours. And also you can get more business that way. Like I always said, call them, just find out why they're here, why they're staying. We've got so many longer term
what
bookings
makes
that
you
way.
different as well then, doesn't it? Because they'll remember that and recommend other people because you've made the effort to interact with them a little bit.
9 times out of 10 they want me off the phone. I'm like, oh, what are you doing this weekend? They're like,
why are you staying here?
they're like, just please, I'm busy.
Moving on, Dubai. So you've recently come back from Dubai. Just give us an example. What did you find over there? Did you go purely for your hospitality or something got to do with Airbnb? Because you can do overseas Airbnb, right?
Yeah, I think Airbnb does quite well out there. So I went mainly for my hospitality consultancy. Right. I'd never been to Dubai before, so I didn't know if I'd like it. I didn't know. Everyone says you hear so much about it, especially on social media. You see kind of all the videos that we were talking about earlier of everyone coming out of the sea. But yeah, I didn't know if I'd like it. I absolutely loved it, and I think the opportunity out there is massive, especially from a customer service point of view, and I think that they appreciate it. I still do property with my dad, so we do acquisitions, so as well as going for that, he didn't come with me.
Because I remember your dad said on the meeting that he does a lot of commercials as well, doesn't he? So he's got a commercial portfolio.
So we've just bought a fish and chip shop.
Wow.
And my mum said to me yesterday, should we just work it and do fish and chips? I said,
Why not?
I was like, do you know what? My normal response is yes, and just do all the madness later.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like.
Whereabouts is it?
In Aylesbury.
Aylesbury, okay.
So yeah, we do. My dad and I do acquisitions. So we just bought that. We have a block of flats in Norfolk. So I went out as well just to grow some connections from that side of it.
So you're in Dubai. From there, did you make any interest about Dubai properties, or we were talking about rental, and you're saying it's quite expensive over there? Did you find it that you can genuinely do that shift if you wanted
So
to?
Daniela went out for her hospitality
Oh, right,
side,
okay.
but also there was the Dubai PPN, which was
Oh,
launching.
okay. Yeah,
so
yeah.
that was why, and then that tied in with the property side and the hospitality side.
Yeah, exactly. But I did have a lot of meetings out there with people who are into investing in property.
Yeah.
And it's so different to the UK. I mean, it's people. They were talking about people buy like pre-launches and then they sell their pre-launch. So
Off market.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know far more than I do. But it's another world out there in terms
it?
of making
It's
money
just
and property.
Is it really expensive over there?
I don't know. I'm a bit tight
We
nowadays.
had this conversation earlier
I'm
on,
a tight
yeah.
Italian. I was saying to Zinat, I went out on my own and I didn't really know anyone else who was going. So I booked a package holiday, like a proper
Right.
Brit abroad. I pre-booked everything. So I paid for half board hotel, transfers, flights. I had a stopover because I'm tight. And I was
Also,
there.
you're just looking after the, what do they say? We're looking after the
Pennies.
and-
Look after
Yeah.
the
I'll
pennies
say
and
that. I wouldn't say
something,
you're
the
tight,
pounds
no,
or
no.
something.
I think that I am tight. No, I'm not joking. It's I obviously when I'm a woman traveling on my own, I just
Yeah.
wanted it all sorted because it's a long way from home. You've got no internet. I would have been stressed, so I thought whatever. I obviously had booked half board, so I only had to really buy one meal out.
Yeah.
Was it expensive?
Yeah, I spent £1,000 in a week.
That's all right.
No, this is
Oh, that's half board.
this is just
okay.
as in when she was
Oh, right,
there.
okay.
Just no, the half
I
board.
paid for everything in advance.
So the flights, accommodation, half board,
Transfers.
everything was paid.
All right.
Then in the week that Daniela was there, she spent £1,000 just out in Dubai. So this is what we were saying, that it's just so easy to spend, I think, when you're there.
And you have to go out. I think because of the nature of it and the opportunity, the networking, I said I want to make the most of my week here. So
Yeah.
if I didn't go out, network, meet people, so I went out more than I would do, way more in the UK, but it is expensive. I think it's expensive. And I think I would love to move there, grow my business out there.
What part of your business?
The consultancy side.
Okay.
My dad he's a really good established businessman here in the UK, and
Yeah,
because
he is, yeah.
I don't think he'd maybe move to Italy one day, maybe for a few months a year, but because he's got his parents here who are a bit older, my brothers are 10 years younger than me, he would never be able to make a big move.
Do they really say, Habibi, welcome to Dubai when you go?
I was saying it, and I was irritating everyone. I was going full on.
You really
Arabic.
was a Brit abroad, wasn't it?
I was telling people, I was like, I get told I look a lot very Arabic.
Yeah.
And everyone said, absolutely not. You do not. You look. You do not. I was so proud. I was like, I get told like in the UK, I have an Arabic look. Everyone just
shut you down straight away.
They're
That
like, the second you open your big mouth, they're like, we know where you're from.
So they don't say, Habibi, welcome to Dubai. What do they say then when they see you? How do they greet you?
Try and avoid eye contact.
Oh, okay. Generally, they're lovely people. They're
So
very
friendly.
welcoming, even though if it's a business or a car showroom or a jeweler's, whatever it is, they're just
Oh
welcoming
my god!
you.
So genuinely the most friendliest place.
Because you've got the old city, it's not that far. Well, Dubai's not really that big anyway, but you've got the old city, whereas a more, how should I say, the hustle, bustle.
I don't think many people, especially if you've
Many
gone for a
people don't
week,
know,
you're
but
not
yeah.
going to go to the old city.
Have you been to the other side?
I went to the outskirts. I don't know if
Okay.
it's the old city.
Okay.
I went somewhere where I thought I've left Dubai. I went one place.
what it is, that's what it is.
I went
That's
what it
one
is.
place.
It's
and
not
I
the
thought,
holiday areas.
Habibi, we're not in Dubai anymore.
Habibi, we're not in Dubai.
Take me back.
So what we were talking about earlier before the podcast was how when I literally was telling you, me and Rahul went shopping on Saturday, and we were discussing how when you go in stores and things here now, when you ask someone for something, it's like you're putting them out and you're annoying.
Yeah.
Like, and there's no eye contact.
It's just
there's
the whole
no
attitude, it's the whole
anymore.
energy, you know.
Was that different in Dubai? Did you find that they're a lot more wanting to have conversations and, you know, coming up, approaching you?
Well, they're more appreciative. I'm sorry if I come across a bit. I mean, I'm a British myself, but the work ethic is gone in the hospitality. Like I went and what was that place called? And now I can't name it. Can I name it?
Why not?
No, I'm going to name it. Buns Away in Blue Water, right?
Oh, I wasn't thinking about that instance, but okay, something else. So
Peer pressure got you.
I'm a customer, okay? I'm not demanding anything. I'm just standing there. I just said, can I have this, that, those buns, and so on.
Buns, as in
buns,
bao buns.
bao
It
buns.
makes it sound like you're ordering
Bao
bums off of a
buns.
shelf.
Ordered
Like,
it.
I like her bum and I like her
A
bum.
lot of men will love that business idea.
So I have to be careful because this is supposed to be a formal setting, right? Or can I just let myself loose? Are you sure about
Let
that?
your hair down.
Let
Let go.
So look, it's all there. The menu's there, and it's got the halal options. So I'm picking halal for Zina and the
But
other
not
one,
for yourself.
and so on. Picked everything else. It's just such an effort ordering, and they're born and raised from the UK.
You don't know that.
The accent and everything about them. What do you not
That's
know
an
that?
assumption.
It's an assumption.
Okay.
Okay. So it's just no sort of, no appreciative. I'm a customer, you know? I'm a customer.
I
I'm
was
paying
telling
customer.
Daniela actually about
But hold
when...
on. You go to Dubai and you have various, correct me if I'm wrong, please, from different countries who come and do labour in Dubai. We're going to touch on this in a bit. And they are appreciative of their workplace. But then there's probably a keyboard warrior somewhere soon going to comment on this. The slave labour, or whatever you want to call it.
I'm waiting to see where this is going. I'm lost.
So there's a lot of workforce in Dubai who get exploited because of coming from certain countries. They don't get paid properly. Their accommodation is poor.
But that doesn't happen in the UK.
It does actually happen.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it actually does happen.
Yeah, let's not pretend.
This is uncensored, right? Fucking. I'm doing a bit of test. So yeah, it is uncensored.
But I know what you mean, like on a mainstream high street, the likelihood is it's not going to happen in the UK.
The example I gave was you went to buy trainers in a particular well-known high street store.
Yeah.
You asked, have you got these in size 11? The young boy is checking his whatever it is.
Oh, that.
And he's just like, no. And
JD Sports.
I was trying not to say.
JD Sports, yeah.
Okay. Not the local one.
Blue Water.
Oh, what's wrong with you? Anyway, so you asked for a size 11. He's looking, no. Then you had to say, have you got size 12? No. What about 11 and a half? Oh, yeah, I've got 11 and a half. Well, can I try that?
No,
then?
the conversation finished at 11, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And he was just done. But he didn't want to make eye contact. He didn't want to suggest that, we don't have size 11, but we've got 11 and a half. Do you want to try that? There was no customer interaction.
It drives me mad.
No hospitality.
It just drives me crazy. I just don't know what it is. I mean, can someone please message me? Just let me know, what is it? Why? And I don't mean to say it's all young people, but it's mainly young people who, I understand if you finish school, maybe working in a cafe or restaurant isn't what you want to do for the rest of your life. It's like, for me, it's self-pride. Like, is it gone? Definitely. Like, do you not care? I mean, for me, if I work for myself, work for my family, someone else, I want to do a good job for me. And I don't know, I see it, and it's not just young people. I see this kind of I don't care attitude.
I think it's a culture
in the UK.
thing as well, because
culture of what though?
No, the culture of how to be. If you go to, I don't know, Germany, and is there a JD Sport? Yeah, there is. Is there one over there?
I don't know why you're asking me.
So the way they treat you, or if you go to Malaysia
you're a loyal
or Singapore,
customer of JD Sports.
they won't treat you the same. They are JD. Give an example of McDonald's.
But that's what we were talking about, Dubai.
McDonald's.
So when you went out in Dubai, how was it? with the customer service and the interaction?
Do you know, it was amazing. It wasn't where I thought it would be in terms of, apparently it has gone a bit over the last few years, because when I went out there, I thought they'd be rolling the red carpet out for me. So it wasn't quite that level, but it was still, compared to the UK, it's uncomparable. Okay. But I actually had this conversation out with someone in Dubai, because I said, look, like, this place is 10-15% locals, because I looked into it. Right. How is it that I saw someone do a U-turn on their bike to put something in the bin. Like I said, how is it that you've got a place with 15% locals?
Japan's a bit like that.
I've never been to Japan, but I've heard it's very similar.
Chewing gum or you get fined.
Yeah, but I said, how have you got a place full of expats? Look, you've got a city made up of expats.
Respect the culture,
But they can't behave in their own countries. How is it you've got people coming to a place and everyone is following the rules? And they said that the second you do something wrong, they're not even going to waste their money and put you in prison. You're back to your own country. Right. And I think that, I know it's so strict out there, and they said if you don't even cross the road at I don't know what it's called, Pelican Crossing? Zebra crossing? I don't know. I don't take my license away. Yeah, one of the crossing. I'll get my license taken away after this. And they said even if you don't cross there, they'll fine you. So it's so strict. And I think the UK, there's so many protection laws and this and that. As an employee, like, you kind of know, like, there's if your employee does not do anything, you have a whole process to follow. Yeah, it's a
stigma thing. Like, you go to Spain or somewhere, and if there's a group of lads, you're automatically pointed as you're a hooligan or something. You're a football hooligan. So when it's happened to me and my friends.
What you mean when you're a British person abroad? Yeah.
Yeah, when you're a British person abroad.
Were you shouting things like "always sexy"? were you acting like a hooligan?
That bum shop we were talking about, it was in there. That's what.
Were you acting like a hooligan?
But no.
Some of your friends were though.
Maybe.
Yeah,
no. We weren't. No. But yeah. So we just need to see where we are, and I think what we want to get at is the experience of the whole British mentality of customer service and hospitality. It needs to shape up.
What I thought was interesting though as well is the fact that Daniela says she's never been to Dubai before. She went for a week, but already you're in that mindset that you'd like to go and move there and live there and start your business there. So what was it in that trip that made you think actually Dubai is the place that I want to live in or work in or do my business there?
It's mentality. They love it or hate it, you can't escape the mentality they've got there. Yeah. Maybe because I went as a business trip and I didn't go as a holiday. Maybe if I went as a holiday I wouldn't have seen it as much. But I feel like if you move out there for work, the people who have done it have such a different mentality to the people in the UK that I've seen. Yeah. And I think that with my business and what it specialises in and what Dubai has to offer, it can do so well growing it out there. Right. But I definitely think it's a mindset thing. I've never seen so many like-minded individuals. Yeah. I know that I was there going to conferences and this and that, but it was such a different mindset. But you can go to conferences
here. We attend conferences and people look like they're there because they've told to be there and they're not interested, they're not engaging. So like you say, you can feel the energy and the mindset of people there, and that's why we started to move Nortons into Dubai properties, because it's a place to invest. And I think that's what we're trying to educate people, that anyone that's established or had money or business in the UK seem to just want to stick to the UK. And we're trying to broaden people's minds a bit and say, invest in Dubai. And like you said, the off-plan, people buying it, it's called expression of interest at EOI. So before something's even out, you can put in
of interest. Ooh.
Yeah. So you put in an EOI. You say, I want that 2-bed apartment by the Dubai Marina. Before it's even 20% constructed, you can flip it, sell it, and make a massive return on investment. You don't actually have to go and live there or rent that accommodation or look into all of that.
Give me some.
If I had some money, I would have some for myself.
It's
so
incredible.
From that, Abu Dhabi, the contact there approached you. They want to do their listings and their marketing for a
So we'll
developer.
be putting Abu Dhabi properties very soon, probably in the next week or two. I think Rahul mentioned to you earlier that through our Dubai listings and social media, and we had a contact from Aldar reach out to us and say they'd like Lordsons to list properties that are in Abu Dhabi as well. So we'll be listing those very soon. Very exciting. Aldar are the biggest property developers in Abu Dhabi, so it's exciting times for us. But
we have a local inspiring entrepreneur called Tam Khan. He went to Dubai many years ago. How long has it been there?
I haven't got a clue. I just remember him from when we were young.
Yeah, he's a family friend, a very humble guy. He's done really well for himself. TK Fitness, is that right? Yeah. TK Fitness in Dubai. He's encouraging, he's got his own club. In January, I think he's trying to do this whole relocating to Dubai. If you guys need to get in touch, Tam Khan, TK Fitness in Dubai.
We can let Daniela know as well, because he's that is a new business he's starting of helping people.
But he's well known now. He's a bit of a celebrity.
Yeah, he's a bit of a social media celebrity and a bit of a celeb there. But he's helping people now that want to move from the UK, move over to Dubai, start a business, and how it all works with visas, bank accounts.
It's harder than what you think. Like, it's made out to be really easy, and Dubai love the Brits and all this, but oh my god, it's
it's
I don't
not.
know, maybe my CV needs just like maybe we need to redo it, but it's not
You know
as easy as you
what I
think.
saw on his site the other day? He's giving like memberships for his gym if you relocate with his consulting. He's got a consulting
so you can get
company,
a tan and a six-pack.
But celebrities go to his gym as well, so it's quite a popular gym.
Yeah. But it's very interesting. But like you say, it's not as easy to move.
Especially for a business, I think that's even harder because there's so much in it, paperwork, this, that, the tax side of it. You have to do it properly, or I feel like it could be quite
you can get
serious.
Stuck. But that's what we mean. So we can always give you a contact. We've got people that we know that can help support if someone is looking to move over there. We know the right
From our
people.
property contacts, brokers, overseas brokers, and even local, we can help out. That's not a problem at all.
It's something we'd like to do, but we're for children, so it makes it a little bit harder. If I was your age and didn't have the family commitments, I'd be moving.
I'm lucky in that aspect. A lot of my friends got children, they're settled, they're married, and I'm like the last one, but I've made it an advantage.
Yeah, definitely. I think do the things that you want to do, because once you've got the family and children, it's not as easy. I think for us, it's we would move. It's just the school inside,
it's expensive.
Because trying to pay for 4 children to go to school and then still have your child probably say, oh, I haven't got my pencil case with me, and then you're paying for them to not take a pencil case would really infuriate me. At least here, when he doesn't have a pen, I don't know what he's doing at school without a pencil case.
But you couldn't get lessons free.
It's not just my son. I seem to know a lot of children now that go to school and they don't have a pen, and I'm like, what are you at school for? But I'd rather not know what they're doing. But at least I'm not paying for them to just chill on their phone looking at TikTok, I suppose.
It's a hard one. I think as well, because you've got your kids are slightly older now as well. Yeah, it's a lot. I think once you settle down and you've got a family and parents are getting older, so like my grandparents, you've got more. I've literally got, apart from my parents, my siblings, I've got nothing really keeping me here. I think to go for 3 years, it's for me. I'm in the best position I'll ever be in.
Definitely, I agree. I think it would. I mean, I think for us, surprisingly, the children are teenagers but still happy to do the move.
Really?
We were surprised, but they're quite keen. They actually say a lot about how they find stuff that we complain about now. They're saying the same things, that they're just finding the social life is not there for them. If they want to go out here, where do they go out? What do they do?
It's not safe.
It's not safe. And
like,
it's,
when I want to go for just a walk at 9 o'clock at night, I'm like, oh, it's a bit late. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's 9 o'clock at night. And
well, I've been done the whole eating over Christmas, and then this week just gone, I was like, right, I'm going to start walking every day now, try and get my steps in. And exactly that, I was going out at 9 o'clock and have my headphones on, but then I'm on edge and constantly looking behind me thinking, is it really safe for me to be walking? But the problem is it's dark from 4 o'clock. So it's dark. I'm going for a walk. What can you do? And our children feel the same. You might work hard, buy your children a nice coat. They want to wear it. But then now you have to be nervous about, are you allowed to wear that? Is someone going to pull a knife out on you for the fact that they want your coat? So that kind of side, I think, actually, even the teenager children that we've got are quite happy to say we would move.
It's scary, though. That's what you have to think about now.
Yeah.
And even my hometown, you hear what goes on and what people carry on them, and it's very different to how I grew up. But what's it going to be like in 5 years' time? Like, this is what it's like now, and I don't see it getting any better or anything changing.
All I'm seeing on my news feed is people getting robbed in London if you wear a Canada Goose jacket, Moncler jacket, a nice watch. Money Kicks from Dubai came in, and he had a dinner in Essex. He's a celebrity and a well-known YouTuber. He got attempted robbery, I think.
I think because he posted on his social media that he was at a restaurant somewhere.
It was embarrassing for us as
people
Brits.
Planned
you know what I mean?
to go there and rob him because they knew where he was because he posted on social media. And it's just a shame.
Even the boxer in the UK, Amir Khan, you know, he got.
But nothing's done about it. I think I heard that apparently now if if there's a burglary, they don't even send the police out. So, like, obviously you're going to just burgle. Like, it's crazy. And, like, I used to, I probably shouldn't have done it, but when I was 18, 19, I was working in London. We'd go out on Friday nights and nights out, and we'd be in Central. So I'd walk from, like, Covent Garden to Green Park. So super central, 10-minute walk. And at 3 a.m, I used to just walk it. Like, but there was police everywhere, there was people everywhere. But now safe. I would not dream about it.
Yeah, no, exactly that. But also, I think, so you're from school, what age did you kind of stop education, and you've kind of gone down the entrepreneur's lifestyle, haven't you?
Well, no, I was actually employed for 10 years. So I left school at 16 and I went straight into an apprenticeship in London at 16.
Okay.
So I think I kind of grew up fast as well, because a lot of kids nowadays kind of still, I don't know, at 16 I couldn't imagine it, like kids kind of commuting and working long hours. So I kind of went down that route, and I had to grow up quite quickly as well.
But that side of things, I think, for children that are not necessarily going down the university route, for example, what is there promising for them in the UK to start a business if you're that type of person? So if you're an entrepreneur, 5 years, 10 years from now, what will the financial climate be like in the UK for young people that aren't just, you know, book study, university people? That's where, again, I think the opportunities in Dubai, there's more for people.
Yes.
What's the yes? What's that?
No.
No? What you think?
No. What do you think?
Do you think people could be an entrepreneur here in 5 years, 10 years' time?
It'd be tough.
If you're 16, 17 in the UK...
An entrepreneur, right, is someone who takes a risk, calculated risks, and who are not afraid. They're not...
But if you were, say, 16, 17 in the UK now, you didn't want to go down A-levels university... Where would you see your life going if that wasn't the path?
Are you asking me as a person? Or
if you were 16, 17 now in the UK.
I would... What would I do? I don't know. I mean, if I was 16... I wanted to become an astronaut. That's something...
Never stop dreaming!
I don't remember my teacher was... She took me seriously, so I wanted to become an astronaut.
Well, that's nice, though. That's nice,
It's like when I told everyone I wanted to be a model and everyone laughed. Looking back, so would I. I was a very ugly child.
I think when you're 16, 17 now, what you're going to do, there's careers advice. You can do apprentice at Lawson's. And
No, you cannot. We have had 3 of those, and no.
I think it's
I'm
like
sorry,
with
but
anything.
no.
Do you not take them under your wing? Or
This is the thing.
It's the whole
you know,
dynamic
before
culture,
we were
yeah.
talking about being cancelled for saying the wrong thing. I'm sorry, I tried 3 times.
4 times. There was that one who used to dance and do flips.
Into
Honestly,
work.
yeah.
At 9 a.m. into work.
She used to go bow at me and make funny noises.
That must have been before I was coming here. Okay, so 4.
I think I will hire her just for the laugh.
They're just.
I think I would. Isn't an apprenticeship government funded? I think I'd hire her.
That's not the incentive, because what they, I think they do it knowing what they're going to give you.
And also the whole government funded thing. So that really confused me, because I thought, oh, it's government funded, so the government pays for us to hire someone and teach them the trade. And that is not how it was at all. You still
a little bit of a lump
but
payout,
the money goes to the college provider that are doing the study part. So you actually never got anything, and then we're paying wages out to these apprentices that don't. They were bowing.
I think that's quite nice.
I don't know what that one's about.
I think if you're 16, 17, just really think about what you enjoy, and the rest will follow. Don't overdo it, thinking everything's about money and monetary. That is important.
But the opportunities are hard here at the moment, is what I'm trying to say. So if you're, if you know you're going to be, say, a doctor and you want to study and whatever, okay. But if you're not that person, and the majority of children aren't actually those people, then what opportunities are there in the UK for the younger generation?
I think you are a born entrepreneur. I think I used to sell my sandwiches at school, and I was a bad entrepreneur because I literally used to make my mum make it. So for me, it was free. I was making pure profit.
That's usually the way kids do it. That's the same thing that our eldest son does. So he'll have a business concept, and he thinks, I'm going to sell this jacket, and I'm going to sell it for £200, and I've got £200, because he's not the one that's probably given him £1,000 worth of stuff to sell. So where mum and dad are in the minus, and he's rich because he sold something for £200, and I've got £200.
You're absolutely right.
It's how they start, though. And I think if that's not you, don't force it, because you'll hate it.
Yeah.
Because you can make such good money and do so well working for someone else as well. If that's so, my sister, she's got such a good job in IT.
Yeah.
And I don't think she will ever want to be an entrepreneur, but she does so well working for someone else.
Yeah.
But do you know what I mean? I think some people, because they see Dragon's Den and this and that, it looks so cool.
Yeah, it just gets flooded with different directions and dimensions. Look at book writers and authors. They are passionate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And they become famous and celebrity status and so on once they get the sales and so on. But it wasn't their plan. They weren't following the money. They were following the passion, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to get at. I think as a human, we have to control and consume what we're consuming on social media and have a balance. And don't think that's it, that's your life. There are other things. Just research, take a break.
Follow your passion
too
is the
fast.
main thing.
All of this
newsfeed,
5-6 platforms, TikTok, Facebook,
chasing all the shiny pennies.
Yeah,
that's
it just doesn't.
And I think everyone sees a lifestyle, and their dream goal of where they want to be is an item. So they're not thinking about anything else other than, wow, I want this car, and then they're just trying to do whatever they can to get that car.
Yeah.
But in the end, it's probably not going to happen because you're not following your passion. Just follow your passion, focus, and then the good things will come. But don't just chase. It's good to have goals and aspirations, but don't just chase, I want this, this, and this.
Yeah.
Find something that you love and enjoy.
Age, though, because when I was younger, oh my God, the things I wanted at which ages, and now I want nice things. I want a nice life, but I just want to be happy as well.
Yeah.
I think that's an age thing. And don't get me wrong, I want a G-Wagon too. But
which one?
Oh my God.
Which one? The G63,
I
Brabus?
need to take a few out for a quick drive. But I've got a VW Polo at the moment. But I said my next car will be a G-Wagon. I'll literally go from that to that. I'm not a car person.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
G-Wagon's always been one that I've said, and I'm not a car person, but I think, was it a year ago we went out? I remember there was 4 of us out. We were in the car. We were all talking about which car we'd like to get. There was me, Rahul, and a couple of friends of ours. And I think 3 of us have managed in a year to get the car that we were talking about at the time that we wanted to have. But that's from working hard. So we're all like, oh, I'd like this. And 3 out of 4 have got it. 1 will hopefully soon. But you just got to work hard. And I think that's the bit that younger generation and the social media life is missing. It's showing you the end, bling bling, but there's no talk about the work that goes into
tears,
it.
The late night. Because trust me, like when you are sleep deprived, you're working 7 days a week, tears will come.
And I remember we talked once about when it's your own business, there's no, I've booked a week annual leave and I'm going to go away and I'm not going to answer any emails or any
you
phone
go away,
calls.
but that laptop goes as well.
That goes with you, and you actually can never just switch off. And Christmas Day, I was having a go at him because he was sat there on Christmas Day putting a listing online.
It almost becomes a hobby though. Like it almost becomes
but you just feel like I have to do this because if without working hard and without doing it straight away, I'm not going to get the money to have. And I think people just look at what you're wearing and what you're driving and just think, wow, they've got it. But they're not seeing how much you're working to get there.
The stress. I mean, the amount of nights late nights, early mornings. I remember Boxing Day, I had a meeting at 6 a.m. on Boxing Day.
Wow.
And it was like a huge contract, so I did it. But like, when everyone else is sleeping and relaxing, you are putting in the graft and people forget that bit.
Yeah. And I think, was that a Zoom meeting as well?
No, it was in person.
Oh, really?
I was like, probably was so bloated. You know, like when your face is bloated.
I mean, Boxing Day
face bloat. I must have looked really scary.
The cheese from the day before.
Oh, yeah. And I feel like it comes out of your pores as well. I must have smelt like a turkey.
This year, 2024, right? We've just started. Happy New Year and all that business. So I'm quite excited for you because you've said a few things behind the scene and when I met you before. So I think this year is going to be a very good year for you. I can see this hospitality thing really taking off. But the overseas one, you're going to take a bit of time of assessing, right? Of where it's going to go with it.
Yeah, I mean, 2023 was such a change for me. I would say 2023 was changed. A year ago, I was still employed. Like, I've gone from employed to selling a business, starting a new business. So I think 2024 will be all about acceleration and just going big this year. So I'm really excited about this year. I think a lot of people are in the same boat. I think 2023 was really tough for a lot of people financially. Changes. So I do think this will be a good year for a lot of people.
I definitely am finding when I talk to friends and colleagues that everyone's saying the same thing. 2023 was hard, challenging. You just had to put your head down and get on with it as best you could. But everyone's actually feeling positive about 2024 now. I think because it was so difficult last year, everyone's feeling like, okay, it's got to be better. Hopefully.
We are hoping, but I'm not trying to be...
you love to be the negative person here. Be positive. Put the positive energy out there.
Okay, I think this year, it probably worse than 2023.
No!
Yeah! Dum, dum, dum.
No, but not talking about the UK economy being that, just for your own personal self.
Yeah,
because we can't control how the whole of the UK is going to be crap.
I'm going to have
politics
a good year.
Is crap.
Yeah. But generally, I think it's just going to take a bit more time. Say 25, everyone's going to get back into the economy, and that's what I think anyway.
I'm not worried about everyone else getting their economy. I'm just worried about. I didn't go on holiday last year, and I really need to go.
You're going to Dubai with me this year.
Shall we just
forget everyone else.
He cannot cope with the 4 children by himself, but let's just book it. I'll say it's a work thing. And
it's a work. You can expense it.
I think in generally, me, like us and you guys, I think we're going to have a good year. We've learned last year, in the last few years, what's been happening, learned from mistakes, learned from other things. So I think it's going to be...
Hopefully learned from mistakes. And
this year will be the people with... I do agree with what you said, because it was a really tough year last year. A lot of things were out of people's control as well.
Yeah.
But I think if
there's still time to fall off the cliff for certain things in this year. It's still going to happen.
Yeah.
So I think by the end or next year, it's going to look we are in the road of positiveness, and
I think it's mindset. I think the people that have the right mindset this year, could do really well. I do think that as well.
I think it is that if you can look at last year and learn from it, and then try to do better this year, then it will be a good year for everyone. It's never going to be perfect. There's no point me talking if your phone's ringing, is there?
I saw a post on Instagram saying, "Oh, after a shit start," I was like, "It's not even like 2 weeks in yet." Like, this is like happy.
I'm wishing people Happy New Year. I'm still wishing people Happy New
I saw
Year.
it like, "Oh, after a shit start," I was like, "What? How has it been that bad?"
When do we stop saying Happy New Year?
I've stopped because for me, like, I felt like it was like 2 months ago.
I think it depends when you went. So this is my first day back at work since Christmas.
Right.
And so for me, I can say Happy New Year because I haven't interacted with anyone work related yet. But I think if you've already been at work last week, then you're done. You've said your Happy New Year.
I didn't really wish people Merry Christmas. I don't know, like, I was a bit of a Grinch. I was just like, do you know what? I can't wait this year to be over. So.
And I think that, but people want to say Happy New Year because we're all feeling a bit more positive that this year is going to be better. As long as I go on holiday once this year, then I'm good. I'll come with you.
Come on my all-inclusive package.
Daniela,
and have an extra grand to spend for the week. Yeah.
We're gonna invite you from Together on the Mic when we do the Airbnb once it's completed through the phases.
Seaside accommodation.
Seaside accommodation. Would like to invite you and possibly your dad to come and have a look, see what you think. Then from that time we will have a someone at the door. So where was I?
Seaside accommodation.
So seaside accommodation, and would like to invite you.
It's all going wrong now, isn't it? We done so well.
So looking forward to inviting you on episode 4.
What? No. Why would Daniela come back for episode 4?
I'm lost now.
I can't if you want. I see that.
Okay.
One's enough.
Okay, Daniela.
I can leave and then it could just be you and Daniela.
It'll be just the two of us.
Daniela, thank you for coming and giving us the opportunity to ask you a few things and the actual events of what's happened in your journey of being a service accommodation, a landlady,
hospitality,
property. Yeah,
chip shop.
Chip shop.
Oh, yeah. Come to
I can see you in the chip shop, with the net and everything.
Yeah. I would want to make it glam though. So if you ever want to come along for
just
some unknown,
should we do like a new TV series?
What's
my
it called?
mum. I don't know. I don't know.
We do glam chips or something, and we'll come
glam shop. I don't. People are going in for the wrong thing. But if you want to go fish and chips, my mum's making me be a chip shop lady. So.
Okay. We're there.
So Daniela, again, thank you for coming, and Zena, thank you for participating.
You're welcome.
Together on the mic, lens. Which one do I look at? This one. Thank you for commenting, like, subscribe here at your channel at Big Silver One. Thank you. Out.
What's the